Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name's Molly, and today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 1, Episode 10 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina from Netflix. Alright, so we've reached the final episode of this first half season, I guess you would call it. So this is the kind of culmination of this particular group of episodes. And the big thing that was happening throughout last episode was Sabrina having to deal with the consequences of her attempts to resurrect Harvey's brother, and that going terribly, terribly wrong. And so she ends up bringing back Tommy's body, but not his soul, and so she ends up trying to go into limbo, despite everyone warning her that this is a terrible idea, that she doesn't have the capability of doing this. She still feels like she can, and so she goes to limbo to try to bring back Tommy's soul to reunite it with his body, and it ends up getting eaten basically by a creature. So not only does she end up not succeeding in fully bringing him back to life, she apparently somehow leads to the destruction of his soul, so it makes it even worse. And then in the culmination of that, she tells Harvey the truth about herself, that she's a witch, as well as what she's done, because she knows that Tommy's body and whatever is in it that she's brought back needs to be destroyed. Harvey, understandably, is extremely upset with her for not only what she did regarding Tommy, but for all the lies, lying to him, keeping this major secret, and then he himself actually ends up, it seems, killing whatever is left of Tommy, and he says to Sabrina he doesn't really want to see her anymore for a while. Again, understandable in my opinion. But the point being, Sabrina finally starts to seem to realize the consequences, potential serious consequences of the reckless choices she's been making and of the kind of arrogant tone and attitude that she had been taking. So I'm curious to see now in this last episode, how's that going to impact her? Is she going to scale that back? Is she going to be less arrogant, more cautious? And of course, continuing on, what are going to be the long-term consequences of this, especially now that Harvey knows the truth about her. It seems like she's made up some ground with her family. You know, she was fighting with Zelda and actually with Hilda and Ambrose too, but mostly with Zelda. But Zelda was there to comfort her at the end after she's basically been broken up with by Harvey. So I'm imagining that at least she has that kind of positive going on for her. That hopefully will help her moving forward, but I guess we will see, and we'll see what else is in store in this episode. So, all that being said, I think I'm gonna now jump right in. Episode 10, here we go.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Wrote about you in her journals. She said the Spellmans were a family of witches. That's just...
Uh-oh.
Sabrina. So many times, but
it's probably for the best. Just get it out.
Could I? And now Harvey knows, and everything is just, it's over. He broke up with me.
What? Why?
Because of everything. All the lying. I've been hiding this whole other life.
I mean, at least she understands.
For witches, but I'm still the same person. Even after what happened with Tommy.
Sabrina,
I did it. I resurrected Tommy.
It's a lot that she's throwing at them at once, but you know.
All wrong, and it's all my fault, and Harvey, I had to kill him.
Oh.
Sabrina, I mean, he'll never forgive me. I mean, how could he? I'm so sorry. I never wanted to lie.
This is nice, at least, you know, they're...
That's all I've been doing.
Not pushing her away when they learn the truth.
We're here for you, Sabrina.
I will always be here for you.
Thank you, guys. You're the best.
Welcome back, ladies. Where are Greendale?
I mean, you had to imagine that something like this was going to happen eventually, because they kept bringing up
Tonight,
13 throughout
for 1 hour,
the season.
from midnight to 1. You may walk the earth again to claim your revenge. Go forth, sisters. Take to the sleeping streets. Reacquaint yourself with the town you so despise. And then summon the butcher, who'll end Greendale once and for all.
Greendale, both mortal and witch alike, will perish.
Silence! Silence! You've done well to bring this to us, Brother Ambrose, but if it is the wrath of the 13 and their messenger of crimson death we face, I, your high priest, will protect you.
So, with all due respect to Excellency and acknowledging that I'm excommunicated, protect us how?
The coven will gather within the walls of the Academy, fortified, bound by our combined impenetrable magics. We will stand together until the blood-red horseman has passed through Greendale.
But what about the mortals? The people of
They don't
Greendale?
care. Especially him.
Let them run to their false god and gnash their teeth and wail, or whatever it is they do.
What's the matter of Mr. Kinkham, Miss Putnam, Miss Walker? They're out there, facing their own personal assaults.
She always knows how to play on her.
The defense is over.
Exactly what
It's
to do
time
and
to go
say.
on the offense. How would we even do that? As a matter of fact, I have an idea, but it would mean your Aunt Hilda here holding down the fort alone for a bit. Look, bloody hell, Sabrina, we are running out of time.
Okay, fine, then let's do it. Aunt Hilda, hold on. Salem, stay here and watch Aunt Hilda. Just do it, Salem. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Because all women are taught to fear power.
Own your power. Don't accept it from the Dark Lord. Take it. Wield it. Same here, friends.
This whole thing is interesting.
You're all that side already.
But
What's more important? Your pissing contest with the Dark Lord or the salvation of your friends?
She's definitely gonna do it.
if I sign,
It is your destiny. If you do not, Harvey will die. Rosalind and Susie will die.
She's definitely gonna do it.
Your cousin will die. I will die. Please, Sabrina. For all our sakes.
I'll sign.
I knew it was gonna happen, so.
Do you do this of your own free will?
As a positive, I guess this means that more dark stuff is coming.
What it means. When I call, you must answer.
I shall deliver Sabrina unto you. Sabrina, breathe. Let it in. Can you feel it? Do you feel it? Yes. We don't have much time.
Where do we go now? What do we do to stop the 13? And the Red Angel?
Not we. You. The power's yours, not ours.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Don't you know, Sabrina? Hasn't the Dark Lord already shown you what to do?
What are you... I don't...
This creepy vision.
The Greendale 13 to stop! Go
ghostly fire. Hellfire.
None but the most powerful can summon it. Devils. And in the history of witches, only 3.
Well, it's about to be 4. I, Sabrina Spellman, daughter of Edward Spellman, child of night, call forth fire from the pit! Ater ignis fusque fume, te invoco. Tuam monstres, veni, caelo savisto, hunc arborum consuma, lupam tenebrasque, tuas monstra, impetuum tuam, invoco, devorandum, hunc arborum, omnes hospita devora.
Oh. Hair's changing color?
And then they went up in hell flame, a gorgeous, searing inferno. I'm the mother of demons, the dawn of doom, Satan's concubine. I'm Lilith, dear boy. First wife to Adam, saved from despair by a fallen angel. I call myself Madam Satan in his honor. But soon, very soon, I'll have a new title. You see, once I finish grooming Sabrina to take my place as Satan's foot soldier, I'll earn a crown and a throne by his side.
Well, now we know her full, complete motive, I guess.
Who am I? I'm the future queen of hell.
Well, well, that was it. That was episode 10. And so I thought it was interesting. We finally got some more information on what Lilith apparently is really doing, what she fully and completely wants. She's not just simply serving the Dark Lord, the Dark Lord's interests. She's trying to put herself into this particular position of power as the Queen of Hell, basically, and doing so by having Sabrina sort of take her place, her current place. So that was interesting. And I do think it's interesting because that ties into things like her mentioning to Sabrina about Sabrina needing to take the power, not just ask for it, and her various comments about men and women throughout the course of the season. You kind of get the sense that, you know, she's not fully a complete, like, devoted disciple to the Dark Lord. She's viewing herself as perhaps potentially an equal and someone who has to kind of make her own way to get there. So that's I thought that was really interesting. The turn in Sabrina, interesting too. We obviously knew as soon as her friends and Harvey were placed in a position of danger, let alone her family, that she was going to do whatever it took, and it was easy for her to be convinced, here's what it's going to take for you to actually save them. You need to sign your name in the Book of the Beast, and so she did. As soon as it was brought up, you knew it was definitely going to happen. And it was interesting to see how she was able to defeat them, kind of curious why she in particular seems to have so much power. This ties back into an overall question of why it is that the Dark Lord seems to want her so badly. And I'm sure it's got to be linked in some way to the amount of power that she currently seems to have. So again, I'm sure that's going to be a significant thing in the part 2 of the season. And then generally also her transformation that came along with that. You saw what happened with her hair, and then at the end you see her going along with the Weird Sisters. and her friends, her mortal friends, kind of questioning what their relationship with her is going forward. And I think that's supposed to be an open-ended question for us, that, you know, now that she signed her name in the Book of the Beast, does she still have a part of her that really wants to be mortal and be with the mortals, or is she fully gonna embrace this other side, the witch half, that she kind of was hesitant to fully embrace before? Yeah, and so then I guess the other thing that happened this episode is now not just Harvey, but her mortal friends, they know the truth about her, they know that she's a witch, and it was nice to see that her friends accepted that, kind of forgave her for the various lies she told and accepted her for who she was. Not really what she got with Harvey and what she had been hoping for, of course. I personally feel like if she had told Harvey the truth, maybe in a better way, under better circumstances, things could have gone better. I know that in the first episode she kind of went through the process and then panicked and reversed it, but I think maybe she didn't give him enough of an opportunity. I don't know. But it was nice to see that her friends actually stayed there by her side. So yeah, so a good kind of conclusion of this first part here. I want to say, in case there's anybody curious and wondering, as of right now, I'm not going to be starting doing reaction videos to part 2. It just seems like there isn't a ton of interest in these videos. I really do appreciate those of you who have stuck through and been watching them all the way, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest overall in watching me react to this particular series. So while I did enjoy it, and I do enjoy it, and I plan to watch the part 2 myself, there's not going to be reaction videos to that, unfortunately. So I do apologize if you're disappointed about that. It's just a matter of, you know, the amount of time that I have, that I'm able to devote to this, and versus the amount of people that want to watch this particular content, you know? So I hope that some of the other series that I'll have coming out will be something that you're interested in. But if not, then I'll just thank you for supporting me through Sabrina. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you everyone so much for joining me as we wend our way through this series, and hopefully I'll see you in the future for more shows. All right. Bye.